All right, here we are. Are you serious? We are back, episode 74.
Yeah, quickly climbing.
I know, we were just talking about what are we going to do for 100?
Yeah, I don't know. We need to think on that because 74 episodes have come and gone.
Yeah,
And we're going to be at 100 before we know it.
I know.
What I can tell you is 75 is going to be real fun.
75 is going to be fun. That's coming up next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, we will be at Grand Strand Brewing. I just talked to them. They're going to try to have the same setup, the big TV for the people that are in the back. What they told me is the kitchen will close at 7.
Okay.
They're going to keep the bar open.
That's really all that matters.
For the listeners who come out. But if you do want to come out, you want to make it an evening, we're going to be doing live weather out there.
Yeah, going to be doing live weather.
Mingling.
It's kind of a CCMF kickoff.
Yeah. Come out early.
Come out early, summer kickoff, just,
Yeah. No rhyme
any-
or reason other than it's CCMF week.
Any excuse to get out of the office and have a little fun, do a podcast at a brewery. I mean,
And we won't stay out too late.
no,
We'll do
it's a
our
school
little
night.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a school night. I work the next morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, come out and
be
enjoy.
fun.
Have some drinks. Their smash burgers, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that will be next week at Grand Strand Brewing. I think I'll say it. If you want to come out, I think we have a gift for you.
Ooh,
Next week.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say.
all right.
We'll have a gift for you next week at Grand Strand Brewing if you make it out here. Also, I even wrote it. Like, comment, share, rate, subscribe.
You got them all.
So,
Yeah.
75 episodes
Have
later.
you checked in on our numbers lately?
Pretty decent. So here's the thing. We've switched over the podcast listening platform. So I don't know how many are being downloaded. And I
Okay.
tried to look. They're still appearing on Spotify and Apple. But it just says, no episodes available because we've switched to plat. So I need to look into that. YouTube's decent. 250-ish. I think those teases I did last week with Chase helped.
Yep.
So Jenna shared a couple of them. You shared some. So
That was a really fun episode.
it was.
Yeah.
It was. And I was kind of testing out some of the stuff that we were talking about today with him, and he had some good answers. We'll share them. Before we get into that, how's Jamie?
I'm good.
Good?
I'm good. It's kind of a weird day here around the studio. We've got the big bosses in town.
Yeah.
Like the big bosses.
And
Everybody's dressed up.
I was going to ask about that. Here's the thing. We work for a wonderful company.
We do.
We do.
Yeah.
Our bosses, especially here,
Yeah.
are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like our marketing director's great. Y'all met Jen. Our general manager does a hybrid.
Yeah.
So he works from Columbia and Myrtle Beach.
So he's not really in the building.
Yeah,
once
but when
every
he
couple
comes
weeks.
in, like I've talked to him before, great
Yeah,
guy.
right.
Seems very down to earth.
Yeah.
But there's always been this thing with corporate lately where it's like we get the big boss to come in, and then it's like everyone's walking on pins and
I know,
needles.
I
And I
know.
don't know why.
Yeah, there are people in here like wearing jackets who I've never seen wear a coat to work
Right,
before.
right.
Everything's all clean and sparkly.
And I,
It's like the mother-in-law's coming to visit. You got to get it right.
and
The yard crew was literally out there yesterday
Oh,
afternoon
were they?
cleaning up the front parking lot, the back parking lot. I'm like, okay.
I'm interested to meet the
Yeah.
new SVP, but
Yeah.
also I down dressed. Like I'm thinking
Yeah.
about coming back in like khaki shorts.
Yeah,
and,
do it. It's just another day. You're
we're at
off.
the
and
beach.
yeah, that's how we roll here.
I am coming back for the free food.
Oh, yeah.
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 Free food, we will always be
Corporate visitors means free lunch.
there, which means Jamie and Andrew will be in attendance. Yeah, so Memorial Day weekend.
Didn't do anything and was totally happy with it.
Same. We actually had sickness kind of hit through our house.
Yeah.
Brooks got sick first. Then I started to feel a little weird Saturday night. Saturday
A stunning day.
might have been the best. This sounds crazy. Best day of the year, I think.
I think it
weather-wise.
was absolutely beautiful.
Not a cloud in the sky. And low humidity for this time of
That
year.
good breeze.
Really good breeze.
Then you woke up Sunday and it was all over.
It was awful. Sunday was terrible.
Monday was
Memorial
terrible.
Day was
terrible for the tourists.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Same.
Especially Monday.
Yeah.
Lounging around the house Monday afternoon. It was like 65 outside.
Oh, it felt so
Had the
good.
screen door open.
Yeah.
Watching a movie. It was cloudy, gloomy.
Tuesday was a cool start. We're starting
Loved
to get
it.
back into the humidity.
Yeah.
But yeah, really great stuff. I went to Conway on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a commercial, but I'll gladly make it one if I need to. The new pizzeria there,
Oh,
Anto's Pizzeria.
I've heard really good things.
Jamie.
Yeah?
One of the best pizzas I've ever had in my life. The best that I've had here.
Wow. I'll have to check it out.
Back with Patrick Lloyd when he was working here, he was a big pizza guy, so we would go and do like 80. We did, I think, got up to like 75 or 80 local pizza joints.
Wow.
Just going in for the slice for lunch. Anto's would be number one.
All right.
River Oaks probably number two.
I do love River Oaks. Do love River Oaks.
The box doesn't travel well.
Yeah.
The pizza kind of ruins it. I don't know why. And then like there's some others that they're really close and they all know me really well, and I don't want to tick anybody off because they're great. There's one up by you. If you're ever up there near Briarcliff Acres, it's Coast Pizza. Okay. It's right by that Kroger Ultimate California.
Yeah. That's my Kroger.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good slice too.
I tried a new place, which I'm really embarrassed to admit because I can walk to it from my house. Lava Korean Barbecue.
Okay, so I've passed it. I've always was interested.
It used to be a bank.
Yep.
And now it's Lava Korean Barbecue. And I saw their little sign out front that said happy hour. So Monday, pulled in. Holy Korean barbecue.
It was that good?
Insanely good. Insanely cheap. Happy hour.
Okay.
Yeah. And amazing food for happy hour. Like egg rolls for like $5. $7 martinis.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, so that's top on the list now.
Ooh, okay. The next one I'm trying, we'll see if I get to it before next episode, is the new pierogi place.
Where's that?
Just opened up in Market Common, like literally yesterday.
Wow. Okay.
It's called the Pierogi House.
And there's another one, Salt and Lime.
Yeah, Salt and Lime.
Salt and Lime, kind of up on the north side.
Yeah, it's like
I think it's near River City Cafe on like 76th, 74th ish.
with like, it's on the right side, right?
Yeah, I think it's in a hotel,
Okay.
but they're also getting really good reviews. So that's next on the list.
Sign me up. Sign me up. Speaking of things on the list, we are looking ahead to this weekend. Hurricane season begins. Water temperatures are already extremely warm.
They're on up, yeah.
Some spots 5 to 7 degrees warmer in the Gulf. And this is not a first alert, but some signs in the next couple of weeks that we could have some chances.
Yeah,
You know,
especially down to the
fairly
Gulf.
early.
Especially down to the Gulf.
Yeah,
Which,
so-
what are we going to call it this year?
So, and that's where I was going, and I'm so glad you brought it up. I accidentally slipped.
And said Mexico?
Yep.
I think that's going to be okay. I think we're going to be
Okay.
forgiven.
Well, I got a message.
Of course you did.
It was like 6:30 in the morning, and I don't know what brought it. Oh no, it was Memorial Day. So I said, "Hey," and I showed the moisture meter with this low and this weird system. I said, "Hey, we got moisture coming in," and all morning I said, "Golf." I felt so good about it. That's going to be what I do.
Yeah.
And then 6:30, just because I'm so used to it, Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
And immediately in my head, I forgot about everything else I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think I just kind of rambled, and then I got a message. In
Saying?
case you didn't know, it's been changed to the Gulf of America.
I feel like either one, we're going to get
Same.
some
Same.
flack.
Same.
America or Mexico, we're going to get some flack.
So,
I'm like you. I'm just going to probably try to go with the Gulf, but I know I'm going to say
Yeah.
the Gulf of Mexico.
and it's pretty easy to think the Gulf, but then occasionally it's like, you know how we think like, okay, I said this last time.
Yeah.
It just came out.
Yeah, you
And I
mix
was
it up a little bit.
Dang it. Freaking not even talking about the tropics, just
Right.
talking about moisture.
Yep.
And I say the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, hello hurricane season. Here we go, working on the hurricane special.
yes, excited about that.
Yeah, that's coming up a little bit later this month.
A slightly new look to our graphics that I like.
Yeah, we like to kind of freshen things up every season. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, working on that, getting things kind of ready.
Yeah. Teaching Jace a little bit of the hustle and bustle that comes with hurricane season. Chances of development, tropical weather outlooks.
Yep.
On busy weeks where it feels like we got 4 disturbances out there. Just talking about that. And, yeah, I think we have to mention at least Hurricane House, too.
Yeah, Hurricane House going back down for the kickoff hurricane season party.
Okay.
That is next weekend, I think the 7th and 8th, whenever CCMF is.
Yes, so
I fly
next
out
weekend, yeah.
Friday, the
Okay.
6th, 7th, 6th. Yeah, fly out Friday the
Mm-hmm.
6th, and then come back Sunday the 8th. So, yeah, be down in Bay St. Louis Mississippi
You
Hurricane
excited?
House.
You've already been now, so now you kind of know what to expect.
Now I know what to expect, and I'm really excited. There's a couple of new folks going to be there this year that I'm excited to meet. Yeah, the who's who of hurricane folks.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
for the new listeners, Josh Morgerman, incredible hurricane chaser, goes by iCyclone on X. And
Somehow
Facebook.
we've had him on this podcast.
We've had him on the podcast, and I sort of friended him at a couple
Mm-hmm.
of hurricane conferences, and he built a basically hurricane-proof house
Mm-hmm.
in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, which is the literal cross mark of Hurricane Camille and Hurricane
I still
Katrina,
love that
two
fact.
of the most insane hurricanes in U.S. history, and his house is literally under the X. And yeah, so he's got basically a hurricane-proof house, and last year he had a housewarming / hurricane season kickoff party, and it was so well attended and so fun from all these hurricane chasers and storm chasers from all over the country that now it's going to be an annual thing. So I hope I'm an annual attendee.
Yeah, right. And I think we'll take the whole weather team down there at some point. I think it would be fun.
Oh my gosh.
Also, he's just become like a really good friend to us.
Yeah.
Like, I see him like some of the stuff on Facebook.
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
know.
if you would have told me 2 years ago that somehow he follows us as much as
Yeah.
it had to be because of the podcast and because of you going down there. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm excited for it. Let me
know.
ask, when you attend something like that, do you show up fashionably late? Are you on time?
Last year
Slightly
I showed
early?
up fashionably late.
Okay.
Because I'm actually kind of a shy person.
Yeah, you are.
I am.
I can't. I am too. I
am.
can be. Yeah.
I am. Like, there's a difference. And
If
I
I
think
don't
I've
know
talked
you.
about this. Like, there's a difference between TV Jamie and just Jamie.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm going down there, I'm just kind of Jamie, and that person is a little bit shy. So the thought of maybe 3 people that I don't know
Yeah. Oh, that's
having
that's
to
a
keep
nightmare.
a conversation. So last year I was fashionably late, and that way you can kind of blend in. It's not all heads turning when you walk in.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of creep your way in. This year I'm going early.
Because you've done it.
I've done it. I know the host,
Yeah.
and that's really all that matters.
So let me ask. Last year, we had a gift.
Yeah.
Do we have a gift for this year?
No gift this year. I don't
Keeping
think
it
it's
casual.
keeping it casual.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was a housewarming gift. It was a painting. So this year, yeah, no, just me. I am the gift.
Yeah. Well, I'll scope out and see if your painting's hanging up.
Oh, it is.
And
Yeah,
then- it's still?
he told me it's hanging in the
Oh.
living room, so I'm going to be.
Oh, living room.
Yeah, so I'm going to be looking for it.
Okay.
And I'll get a picture.
I love that.
Yeah, I'll get a picture.
All right. Well, speaking of Josh, I thought of a fun little game. I've been trying to think of ways that we can change up this podcast,
Yeah,
especially when the weather's kind of
yeah, like this.
like this. And then we got a lot of questions,
Oh,
so
good.
we'll
Love
answer
it.
some of those. We're calling this segment "Who's Someone,"
Who's someone?
and it doesn't have to be weather related. It could be anything.
Okay.
But some of them, I'm sure, will be weather related. All right. Who's someone who taught you about forecasting that you admire?
His name was Ray Boylan.
Okay.
He was a very well-respected meteorologist in Charlotte as I was growing up.
Okay.
He sort of exploded into stardom from Hurricane Hugo when it hit Charlotte. He had been in Charlotte for a long time, but that was basically the only station that stayed on the air as Hugo came through. And he just had this delivery style, and he was a former hurricane hunter, so like hurricanes were his thing. Fast forward 10, 12 years, and I actually had the opportunity to work with him for 2 years, like my
that's cool.
idol, working
That's
with
cool.
my idol. And like I said, his delivery, it wasn't so much forecasting techniques, but it was his delivery that I really latched onto, and I still use some of his phrases, his kind of cadence and the way he delivers things. A lot of that comes from Ray Boylan.
Nice.
Yeah, so Charlotte people will know that name.
Yeah, I would say mine is the meteorologist in charge at National Weather Service, Louisville. John Gordon was his name, and he was big on going in and recruiting, talent to pull into the National Weather Service. Well, I told John straight up, like, hey, National Weather Service isn't for me.
No.
Like, I'm not that type. And to people that may not know, it's very sit at the desk, write up the forecast discussion, look at all the models. 4 hours later, write up the new update. It's very same, and I knew that wasn't me. Well, the thing about John is he's not that at all either.
Yeah.
He's very out of the box, very different, very like, think of George Hansen.
Yeah.
That's what he's like.
Yeah.
He's very energetic, but he actually started off working for the military, hurricane hunters, went into the National Weather Service. Well, he actually just retired from there, retiring in September, or just retired but getting paid through September. And now he's back in TV. He was like,
great.
I never would have thought I
Yeah.
would have been in TV, but there's a station in Louisville that's using him as like the like an expert, a storm expert.
that.
But he's one of those guys, and he brought me on to the National Weather Service and said, listen, I know you don't want to do this,
Yeah.
but just come in, watch this forecast, and you're going to learn. So, and my severe weather expertise
Yeah.
was from
Yeah.
John Gordon.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's where I would say.
I love
so,
that.
John, I'm going to send that to you, too. That way I can pump up your ego. He'd laugh at that. Who's someone that you wish you could have a conversation with today?
Oh, that's tough.
I know.
That's tough. You go first.
I'm going to go sentimental and probably say my grandpa.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I wasn't getting sentimental, probably there's a meteorologist. Well, it's still sentimental. There's a meteorologist at my former station who has brain cancer. He's been going through brain cancer treatments for like 5 years, 6 years. Can recycle it. Big enthusiast. But the recent bouts of cancer, if he's had to pull away from TV, he still posts on social media. He just can't talk
Right.
on TV. Still well loved in the community, but his name's Brandon Robinson. That's probably someone I think I'd be like, hey, let me go just sit down and have dinner with Brandon. B-Rob was his nickname.
Boy, you kind of got sentimental
sorry.
and heavy there.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Well, I got other ones that
Now I
aren't.
guess I'll have to go sentimental with my granny.
Yeah, I figured that's. I thought that would be your
Granny.
answer, to be honest.
And then do they have to be dead or alive? No, they can be.
I got another one. Continue.
Okay. So alive, Dolly.
Oh,
I
celebrity.
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that route.
Yeah. Yeah. Dolly.
Tim Samaras would be another one of mine. Mm-hmm. So I got to
Storm
have a
chaser, yeah.
conversation with Tim Samaras. He was killed in El Reno.
El Reno tornado. Yeah.
I got to have a conversation, and I was so nervous. I was this kid in college. Say, oh, he's not like he's going to brush me off. 30 minutes later, looking at all his like, what was it, millimeters and seconds or
Yeah.
what, or milliseconds of the lightning that
Yeah.
he did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would have another conversation with
Yeah.
him if I could.
Yeah.
Beloved storm chaser. Who's someone you haven't met yet, but you want to?
Dolly.
I thought about this one long and hard. I think mine would have to be music.
So who?
I don't really. I mean, I would like to meet Eric Church, obviously, because that's my guy.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid to, so I'm not going to say that. I want to meet Bruce Springsteen.
I get that.
I feel like that would be a fun,
Yeah, he'd be pretty cool.
conversation.
Yeah.
And he would probably talk,
Oh
you know,
yeah. Oh yeah.
the smoker voice. That's
Yeah.
that's what I'm going with.
I like that.
Because then it's like I feel like he's been around long enough to where he's
Yeah.
like kind of like maybe a little bit more. Not saying that I'm saying Eric wouldn't be, but I just don't want to get my view ruined.
Well, maybe we can get Eric or Dolly on the podcast.
Could you imagine?
Today's guest is Dolly Parton.
Wait, remember how we were sitting with Josh? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I would die. I would die.
I think so. When we worked in Eastern Kentucky, Dolly would have media availability
Yeah.
to go interview her.
Yeah.
Could we take the show on the road and go to Dollywood?
I'd pay.
For,
I'd pay. If Dolly
say,
would give us a 5-minute podcast,
if
I
the-
would pay.
If the station wouldn't pay for it,
Yeah.
I'd reach out to them just to have her on
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
Jamie and Andrew.
Yeah.
I would pay my way
Yeah.
in a heartbeat.
Tell me stories, Dolly.
Yeah,
Just
tell me
us-
when.
Just tell us stories.
Hey, welcome into Are You Serious? This is Dolly Parton. Dolly, and just let her go.
Let her go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sends books to Brooks every
I know. Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
He just got his
She's a
yesterday.
saint.
She is.
This is kind of morbid. Like when
I know.
like we're gonna need like a couple of national days of mourning or something. It's gonna be big when she.
Also, not to be morbid or political or anything. When's the last time we've lost someone like that, of that magnitude? And I'm not saying that people aren't.
Maybe Whitney, but even I think Dolly's big would even be bigger than Whitney.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a treasure.
Yeah, that's going to be
Yeah,
sad.
that's gonna be big.
It's going to be sad.
Yeah, we're gonna have to shut things down for a while.
Take some bereavement days here at work. Dolly's good. Who's someone people should be following on social media if they aren't already?
Me.
Ooh, at Jamie Arnold WNBF.
Jen says her. News director says me.
Let's give a shout out to our Carolina boys.
Yeah.
Gerald Mingle.
Gerald, let's talk about Gerald real quick.
Yeah.
If you remember, Gerald was a guest last year. And has, I mean, when I tell you he has exploded in his not only YouTubing but storm chasing. He's been out there, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Out in the plains. I think he's up to 6, 7 tornadoes, including 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
In Texas the other day. So follow Gerald Mingle.
Yes, Gerald Mingle. It's is it Gerald Mingle or G Mingle?
G Mingle, yeah.
You search Gerald Mingle,
it's
it'll pop
easy to
up. We're
find,
following him. I messaged Gerald when he left. I said, "Make us proud. Go wrangle him up."
Yeah.
Within like 6 hours, sent me a video of the tornado.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
cool.
Incredible tornado.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the Colorado with his severe weather and the hail that he
and the
found out
hail
there.
and the debris blowing out the back window.
I told him, I said, it's my most favorite state. And he was like,
Yeah.
oh, I understand
Oh,
why.
yeah.
So, and honestly, Gerald, if you're listening, and I'm sure you'll go back and listen to this at some point, just make that your career.
I know.
You're so good at it.
I know.
You're so good at it. I don't know how to do that.
I can't discuss a lot of things because he's got some projects in the works, but Reed Timmer walked up to him and said, you should be chasing full time.
Yeah, 100%.
Reed Timmer.
Yeah.
The storm chaser of storm chasers. And then he had breakfast with Reed. So, yeah. So
No
Gerald's
big deal.
out there doing it.
Yeah.
So if you're a storm freak, give Gerald a follow. Facebook or X.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
And knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great. There's some people out there that don't, but Gerald's not one of them. And then Mitch Westweather.
Mitch West is great. Another,
He's gotten really good, and we've followed Mitch now for years. But Mitch is starting to get really good on Twitter at
Yeah.
pointing out signals
Yeah.
weeks in advance. And that's the kind of stuff on Twitter that I love.
Me too.
Like, you can give me the day one. Here's
Yeah.
Cape.
Yeah.
Everyone can do that, in
Yeah.
my opinion. You start pointing to patterns and signals. That's why I'm following. So, Mitch, great job on
Yep.
what you're doing. Definitely think that. Anyone else you want to add to that?
There's so many here across
There
the
is.
Carolinas. There's really a lot. Like, aside from sort of typical TV people. Who else is there? There's another one I really enjoy, Shay Gibson, down in
yes.
Low Country. He's a statistical whiz guy.
Yeah, I was supposed to say guru.
Yeah, absolute guru of weather.
And super nice. I met him one time in passing, but also follows both of us on Facebook.
Yep.
He'll comment on my stuff
Yeah.
randomly. I'm like,
I know.
oh, hey.
Shay, yeah, I love
So,
it.
super nice guy.
Yeah.
Who's someone that doesn't get enough credit for what they're doing?
Me.
Yes. As our news director listens to this episode.
Gosh, I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and do a controversial one.
Okay.
Ryan Hall.
Yeah.
And I say that because I feel like there's this weird thing with him and maybe the broadcast meteorologist. Is it jealousy?
Maybe. So let's back up for the people who don't know.
Yeah.
So Ryan Hall is a storm chaser
/ broadcaster
/ broadcaster,
meteorologist
who sort of developed this platform of chasers and covering severe weather from wherever, any part across the country. He's going to be in it. But then I guess Helene really kind of kickstarted his efforts of helping. Right?
Yeah, he helped a couple of other
Yeah.
events, like especially in Kentucky.
Yeah.
But Helene was a big national effort from him. Yeah.
Yeah. So he sort of reached out to his viewers and his audience and his contacts and provided tremendous help to the Carolinas following Helene. And now that's almost as big as his storm chasing. If there's a community hit by a tornado, he's there and he's got his crew and he's delivering water and Starlinks and food and all sorts of things.
He, and I think anytime there's severe weather, he's on YouTube. And he's got this thing now to where he has his own studio that's like multi-million-dollar.
Yeah.
He's got this incredible meteorologist, and I can't even think the guy's name right now, that just kind of sits and calls out where the next warning should be and is really good
Yeah.
at knowing it.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch I think for broadcast to survive in the way that some people want it to, broadcast is going to have to go to more of that route.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Radar's great for us, but when it comes to severe weather, we do a really good job. Show me it. Cameras,
Yeah.
chasers.
Yeah. All of it.
And I just feel like there's some resentment between the broadcast community. So I'm going to say he's my person that doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
He does a great job. He gets a lot of credit. Don't get me wrong. He also makes a great amount of money doing it. But I think there's a lot of hate in that, and I don't know why. There's a lot of hate in a lot of that weather community stuff. So, anyways, anyone else for you doesn't get enough credit?
I should have thought more about these.
No, you're good.
I don't know.
Nick Norcast. What's his last name? Nick.
Yeah, Nick Pittman.
Nick Pittman.
Nor'easter Nick. Yeah.
He's doing great stuff.
Oh man, he's doing incredible stuff.
Honestly, getting more views than TV stations up there.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah. Yeah.
highly recommend that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Oh, wow. No, I guess we need to get into questions. That's a full bucket.
Well, and I figured we probably should get through some of them because we have the live show next week. So, you or me?
Okay.
Okay.
This is a biggie. Oh, it's just a big paper.
Yeah, just big paper.
What will weather schedules look like now with Jace on the team? Who is moving where? Joel. Great question. So let's see. Gosh. All right, we'll start with me. Monday through Friday, 4, 5, 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Andrew does morning show.
Yeah.
Jenna does 7 and 11 Monday through Friday.
Yep.
Jace will do Saturday, Sunday morning, and the noon, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, plus some other special projects he's going to be working on / chasing / whatever. Matt Bullock, Saturday, Sunday night, noon, Monday, Tuesday. Is that everybody?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the team.
Yeah.
That's how we're doing it now. Yeah.
So,
And we did that so that because between the podcast and
the weather show,
you were working insanely long days.
You were working insanely long.
Well,
days
and you too. And then you would have to turn around and do the noon. You get in here at 2:30 in the morning. You're here till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was coming in at 10 in the morning, staying till 11:30 at night. That was just getting to be exhausting. So now everybody's kind of got a somewhat normal schedule,
which is good.
And I don't know if I could stay up to do the 11 o'clock news anymore. I've got my
know
bedtime is 9:30. I go to bed at 9:30 on the dot now.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. Once you're into a routine, it's hard to shake.
Yeah.
Like for me, on a good night, it's like 8:30. Most nights it's 8:39. But if I stay out late past the, no way. I mean, I'm chugging coffee to stay up for 11 p.m. Like, you would think it would be 5 a.m. for the equivalent of somebody else that's on night side, but can't do it. So I'm excited. It also will give us a little bit more freedom to try out some things with the podcast, with the weather show.
Get out of the office
live
more.
podcast.
It just opens up more time to do more, which is kind of what you have to do to stay relevant these days is do more.
Yes, and obviously some fun things planned. Hopefully we'll be able to show you some of that. Plus hurricane season. That's what I love. It gives us flexibility on big events.
Yes.
To where it's not like we're pulling crazy hours a week before the event.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
A lot more coming your way. This from Bob. Bob, this was in my inbox from last week, so sorry I did not get to it until this week. When forecasting rainfall, what usually dictates a 40% day compared to a 60% day for you? Great question. I'll be honest with you and just tell you the easiest answer is sometimes it's confidence. Scattered showers and storms, they develop. I feel like a good amount of the area is going to see it, and I'm confident in that. I'm probably going 60.
Yeah.
If I'm not confident, I'm probably going 30 or 40.
Yeah.
And we've changed that on the 7-day now to kind of resent like numerous or scattered.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling like it's going to be a good soaking off and on type rain, I'm going numerous.
Yeah.
60%.
60, 70, yeah. For me, it's kind of same thing, but also kind of gut.
Yeah.
It's
You've
gut.
seen the setup.
And it's also what we've often talked about, kind of the art of forecasting.
Yeah. Yeah.
there may be a day where it's going to rain pretty much everywhere early in the morning, and then the rest of the day is dry, and like kind of like today, and you could go 60, 70, 80%, and technically be accurate.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So on days like that, I'll go lower.
Yeah, same.
You know? And
Same.
because it's just easier to sort of explain that way, I think.
And I like to think, too, people are watching you for, let's be real, the 7-day forecast.
Yeah.
So if you get to a 7-day forecast and the worst of the rain is right now, but then the 7-day forecast says 80%, widespread, whatever. In my head, automatically I'm thinking, oh, wow, today's awful. When in reality, it may not be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
kind of the psychology of weather.
Little art, little psychology, little gut,
Yeah. Other than that,
little meteorology thrown in for fun.
and there are days where I'm like kicking myself because I didn't trust the gut. If
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I should have went higher.
Yeah.
But at that point, 40 and 60, most people aren't going to know a difference.
They're not.
So,
You know what I love? He left 50% out of that question.
right, same.
Because if you're new, we don't do 50.
And we don't do 10.
And we don't do 10. We don't do 10%.
10 drives me
There
nuts.
are occasionally days where I've thought about it.
So the only thing I will do is if I don't like 20 or isolate it, I'll go straight AM shower,
Yeah.
straight PM shower. And you
Yeah.
can type that in now,
Yeah.
which is great.
But yeah, we don't do 50.
No.
It's
drives me bonkers.
Yeah. It makes you a sitting target, I think. Yeah.
And there's so many stations that do 50.
Yeah.
And they do
And nothing
50
against
for
you.
multiple
Nothing
days.
against those. But I've never done 50.
Yeah.
I've never liked 50%
Same.
chance. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Great question, Bob.
I love that, Bob.
A little inside baseball.
Yeah. All right. Where did the idea of Tie Tuesday come from, Megan?
Oh, thanks, Megan. What did we just say? You have to be different in this industry?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Social media also is huge. Back when we were doing leaderboards every morning meeting, I'm like,
Yeah.
how can I get up to the top of that leaderboard?
Yeah.
And every day you have to think of something that, like, it's not clickbait, but you also want, because if the algorithm, if you engage in one of my posts, you're likely to see one of the other posts throughout the week.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you'll see them all.
Yeah.
So I was like, how do I get, especially moving here, how do I get viewers that aren't accustomed to seeing me, see me on their feed? Tie Tuesday.
Tie Tuesday.
And I did not think it would be,
That's your thing.
my goodness. Last
Yeah.
week we had over 1,000 votes.
Wow.
So, and someone asked, do I actually count them? I do. So I'll go into the comments and I'll show them all, and then I'll Control F the colors or the numbers, and try to count them to the best of my ability. But yeah, Tie Tuesday. That's why I did it, just to get some eyes.
I would like to bring back the leaderboard.
Same, because
It was fun, yeah. So, and we would have our daily meetings, and it would basically be, all right, top on social today.
Jamie and Andrew.
It was us.
God, I loved it. There was nothing like a boost to the confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was also good because sometimes it's hard to kind of go back and look and be like, hey,
Same.
this was the top post
Yeah.
from yesterday. This is
Yeah.
what, and it,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was also really good when you beat other people in town.
Certain
Like,
other people in town. Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
because I felt really good
Oh,
about
man,
this
to do
one.
that. Yeah. Ooh.
This is from my wife,
Oh.
Emily. She asked this 2 weeks ago, and it's been sitting in the bottom. Poor Emily. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh.
Great question. That's tough.
That is tough.
And when we say one meal, it's like specific meal,
I'm guessing
type
so.
of food. Okay, cool. Got it. I think I.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. I want a cheeseburger.
Oh.
Not from a restaurant, though.
Okay.
From my house.
Okay.
The way I want it.
Grease. You like it greasy?
Well, a little bit of grease.
Okay.
Cheese.
What kind of cheese?
Toast. American.
Okay.
American. A
God bless the United States.
thick slab of red onion.
Okay.
Lettuce.
Okay.
A pickle.
Pickle.
Mayonnaise.
Okay.
On a toasted bun. And fresh made, still warm potato salad. I could do it every day. My potato salad.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say.
Mine.
Not everybody's, because it's like my grandma's potato salad.
Yeah, my potato salad. Still warm though from right after you make it.
I'm gonna go. I think I have to go Mexican food, and I'm gonna go. God bless. Like, what do you pick? Well, there's so many good. Chips and queso on the side, 100%.
Yeah.
And then maybe like a taco bowl so I can have whatever I want in there.
Okay.
I was gonna say like a crunch wrap, but the homemade, not the cheap Taco Bell kind, which I would definitely do for every day. I think I would do like a taco bowl with the side of chips and queso.
Have you tried the Taco Bell chicken nuggets yet? Are they good?
They're good. The problem is they're like $4.99 or $5.99 for 4 of them, 6 of them.
No.
Yeah, no. And here's the thing: I had to get them because that's the only place I've had everything on the menu. Fun fact. It's pizza would have been my close second.
Oh, this is fun. From Pat, coming to Myrtle this summer in July. Anything you would recommend we check out? Oh, Pat. 01, welcome. Gosh, where to start? Hit the local places. Not to
Stay away from the strip.
Stay away from the strip. Not to knock the seafood buffets, but
Yeah, forget that.
find the local places. Message us.
Yeah.
Find the little local spots that are the best. Support some of the little local businesses that are the best. You know, you can go to your Wings and get your souvenirs to take home, but I understand that tourism is what drives our economy, and that's great, and I love that, and all those businesses. But
What would be a place you would tell a tourist to go for, like, food? Because I have...
you know my list.
I know. So it's the same list you would tell them?
Chuck's.
Okay, cool.
Martini.
Cool. Crab catchers, I would go up there.
Crab catchers.
Oh, my gosh.
Anywhere in the inlet.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a great lunch one day, just go to Magnolia's out on the Boulevard, which is just insane.
Travel back in time.
Yeah. So many. Coconuts.
Oh, coconuts. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The little buoys. Maybe not buoys. What with the controversy and all.
Yeah.
What's
Snookies
Snookies?
Snookies
is the best. Yeah.
Market Common. Don't
Market
forget to
Common.
dabble in there now.
Sea Captain's House.
Oh, yeah. Lunch at Sea Captain's.
Yeah. So many.
Yeah. And then as far as anything, just do the beach. Play around the golf.
Do the beach.
You can do a tourist trap if you want, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you to. Oh, and if you have time, take the trip up to downtown Conway. You'll thank us later.
Yeah.
I think that's a hidden gem for people that don't
Same.
come down here. Is there one storm in particular you remember from your childhood, Pat?
A lot.
A lot of storms.
A lot. Well, you know I'm like an encyclopedia of
Yeah,
storms.
yeah. The ice storm for us in 2009. Trying to think. There was a severe weather outbreak that we had. It was during a college football game. I can't remember the year of that. It was. I just remember like everyone was pumped to watch Louisville versus Virginia Tech, and then they broke into programming for like 8 hours straight.
Oh, wow.
Big. Yeah, could you imagine the emails that
That's
were
not
coming
good.
from that? What else?
I've got so many. My
So
first
many.
tropical memory growing up, and again I grew up in Charlotte, was Hurricane Diana. Sort of a less known storm here
Yeah.
locally, but was potentially going to be a really big storm. It basically stalled off of Myrtle Beach as a Category 3. I think eventually reached Category 4. Stalled. Myrtle Beach had been evacuated. Hurricane warnings were in place. Well, it stalled out there for so long it started to weaken. Then it looped and came back in up towards Wilmington, and from there it kind of shot westward through the Carolinas. And I remember getting some wind and rain in Charlotte from Diana, and that's also the one where I remember coverage
Yeah.
as a very youngster. 84, I believe 84 was Diana.
Yeah.
Obviously remember Hugo vividly. A couple of big snowstorms, 1988, 14 inches of snow in Charlotte, temperatures in the teens. We had a hailstorm on April 1st, 1990.
Okay.
It was on a Sunday afternoon, and it hailed at my house in Charlotte for 45 minutes straight. And it was quarter to nickel size. And when it was finished, it was about 6 inches deep.
We had a lot of hailstorms. We had a lot of shelf clouds and a lot of scud in the Ohio Valley. Snow was memorable for me.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember White Christmas. I don't know. I was in elementary school that we got. The only one that I will ever probably see in my lifetime now. But then also Hurricane Ivan. Was that 2004? Ivan, 2004.
Is that the one that brought the big wind up there?
Big wind up there.
was Ike.
The Ike.
Ike.
That was 2008. 2008, 2009.
Ike. Yep.
Ike brought the big wind.
Yeah.
Ivan moved south and brought the rain.
Yeah.
We got a lot of flooding from Ivan. Those were my two tropical memories as a child,
Love
which weren't much. We got one more in
One
here.
more. Let's do it, and
And then we'll wrap it up.
Because I'm checking to see what's going on out there.
I know,
What's
right?
Matt Bullock doing here? Is he doing the noon today?
What's up, Matty B?
Hey, y'all.
Welcome into our weather meeting.
What? Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have a full house
I
today?
need to check. We do. No, we had a full. Ooh.
What's today's?
Somebody's
Today's
maybe
Wednesday.
not doing the noon. Anyway, why do hurricanes always go up the coast or towards the Gulf? Why do they never travel south? Is this related to the Atlantic Ocean currents? That's really good. Why do they never travel south? Well, for one, and this is what I always talk about anytime I talk about hurricanes, is that the number one goal of a hurricane, we've got to have hurricanes on the planet. We've got to have them.
Yeah.
The number one goal of a hurricane, the reason we have hurricanes, is to literally keep the earth in balance.
Yep.
Hurricanes take heat out of the tropics, send it to the northern or southern poles, and it basically keeps the earth in check. They're like Earth's air conditioning. Without hurricanes, the tropics, the equator, would get hotter and hotter and hotter. The poles would get colder and colder and colder.
Yep.
So we have to have hurricanes, and that's why every hurricane in the northern hemisphere eventually turns north.
I was going to get really technical. We'll just keep it at that because I was going to go into Coriolis and all
Coriolis
that. We don't know that
steering
yet.
currents. Yeah, that's just sort of the
Gulf Stream, all
predominant.
that stuff. Yeah.
Going north. But that is the point of a hurricane, is to go north.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Weather balances out. We've talked about this before with low and high pressure systems. Same things happen out there in the Atlantic.
Yep.
It's the easy answer.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'll be here for another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Anything you want to touch on?
Not really. See
you
everybody
next
next
week.
week. Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Jace, you going to be out there next Wednesday?
He's a wire.
That's why I love him. That's why I love him. We're doing a live podcast at Grand Strand Brewing. This will be next Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, he'll be there. Boss's order.
We said brewery. He said, "Oh yeah, I'll be at the brewery." Well, you'll be able to meet Jace there next week,
Yeah.
and we have a gift for you if you come out. So I
That'll
think
be
that
good.
does it.
That does it. Good time.
Oh yeah, I'll be
I'm
at the
gonna
brewery.
I'm gonna reach out to Dolly
Okay, and
See
I
what we
will
can
reach
do.
out to Bruce.
and see what we can do about getting him on the podcast.
Episode 100. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
All
talk
right.
to you soon.
Thanks, y'all.